Woke teacher suspends students over pronouns and instantly regrets it. Feminist flips her car, then blames the patriarchy. I already know. Oh, man. Welcome back, Gabrielites. I'm sorry, I won't actually call you that. Today we're looking at the worst grifter on YouTube. No, like, actually, the worst. A complete parasite. His name is Yinka that guy, and he's a perfect case study in complete laziness, painful mediocrity, and boring unoriginality. What the f is that picture? Yinka that guy, common sense isn't common. Videos every week, I wish you didn't. Lucky for you, I'm none of those. So be sure to subscribe, because today we're breaking down why this type of content is a masterclass in manufactured hate and how someone this shallow can get an actual audience. And as a little add-on, you get to see some of my raw, first-time reactions to his content. What is this? Let's dive into this shit cake. This guy was genuinely the first creator where I got bored within the first 5 minutes.
Before we get back into the video, make sure you got—
Oh, you can fuck off.
Ma'am, I wrote you a citation for going—
You're writing me a ticket?
Yes, ma'am.
Do you know who my father is?
Why, didn't your mother tell you?
Would you rather be A, deserted on the island with mom, or
B.
somebody get him some help, I think.
I've watched 250 of this video. I am so unbelievably fucking bored. I don't even want to continue this. Okay, I'll give myself another 17 minutes. If within those 17 minutes he doesn't provide anything of value, I'll just stop the fucking recording. There's no educational value, nor is there any entertainment or personality to be found. And don't get me wrong, even basic logic is way higher effort than this guy. He at least had his little stick figures that he animated with MS Paint or whatever. And while basic logic's research is factually wrong and completely stupid as well, at least he does some research. Unlike this guy who's allergic to reading.
Nothing wrong with why did you have a problem? Just what you got, lady. I didn't break the law. A private dog. Oh my god.
This is genuinely the laziest fucking content. Who watches this shit? Now, question to you. You would expect him to be an unsuccessful relic of the past. Someone that has been left behind by the modern tides of YouTube. Especially given his lack of production quality, right? But joke's on you, he's the single biggest grifter I've covered on this channel. This fucking video has 160k views. Who watches this shit? How much free time do you have, guys? Buddies, get a job. It's frustrating because he has no real controversial takes.
How in the blue hell you can be a parent of a transgender child is beyond me. The brainwashing that has to be going on in those households is amazing.
He has no debates. He doesn't cite any studies. He doesn't provide facts or stats. He doesn't even provide arguments.
No, the reason they're not discussing it is because it's fake, made up, fairy tale, la la land, Santa Claus nonsense.
It's just the same conservative talking points that have been recycled and repeated over the past 10 years. And this is by a guy who prides himself on being the token in a group of people who would strip away his rights in a heartbeat if they could.
Well, I'm about to see my doctor, and if everything goes right, I'm about to walk away from here with a referral to a lactation specialist, which means these babies will soon actually be making milk.
Okay, what is the issue? Genuinely, what is your problem? Just does it affect? Are you do you want to suck on them? Is that why you're getting mad now? I went into this video expecting commentary. Still, his content is very repeatable. It's easily digestible, and it's supposed to make you angry.
Why are you showing this to kids?
This is annoying. Can you imagine being a closeted gay or queer child in that class at that moment? As someone that is a minority, I can assure you there's going to be some kid in there. And now they feel completely ashamed to explore themselves, to be who they really are. And then people like you give this disgusting behavior not only a platform, but justify it. I'm so sick of this shit. You people are fucking disgusting. Do you think homophobia would exist if these kids would have been open-minded? So let's look at how he structures his video to achieve that effect. Now, this is just my personal thought, but I think he's a sad excuse for a creator. He takes content completely unedited, plays it in full length, and then he stares into the camera and just provides the most basic conservative talking point. It's completely unoriginal, it's lazy, and he's completely replaceable. But his content is still dangerous. But before we get into this danger, let's first establish the content machine he created. So the clips he takes are mostly of extreme, exaggerated behaviors from a very small outlier group. And then he makes sweeping generalizations about the entire group those people belong to, despite criticizing himself how sweeping generalizations are wrong.
What I find very funny about feminists is they will advocate for minorities, they'll advocate for the ones who are needy, but then at the same time they will generalize men and say men did this to my ancestors. But if you were to say the same thing and say generalize black people, all of a sudden it's not all black people. Trying to reason with a feminist is like trying to reason with a bird. You can't do it.
His camera looks like ass, his sound design is fucking bad, it's hollow, and sometimes the audio gets completely muffled.
Isn't that funny? And I'm surprised, but then at the same time not surprised that something like this is posted on social media. Wouldn't this be illegal?
And some of his videos are completely out of sync. He doesn't give a single flying fuck about quality control and just vomits the same easily repeatable content vomit into his echo chamber of bigots. His content exists solely as rage bait and to feed a perpetual cycle of manufactured hate and outrage for problems that don't exist and enemies he made up in his mind. Again, he's fighting senseless culture wars that don't solve any real world problems, fighting amongst ourselves instead of uniting against actual issues that get exposed on a daily basis. Now that you know how unbelievably easy it is to regurgitate the shitty ass content, let's talk about the actual dangers. The shallowness of his content creates a noticeable lack of intellectual depth and nuance, which also reflects his empathy for anyone but his white bros.
But what I've noticed lately is that I have a better relationship with my kids and I can be more present. It turns out that when your heart is not filled with self-contempt, there's space in there for other people.
How can you go through life nearly being 50 years old or whatever age this guy is, thinking that you're some sort of made-up gender? It's absolutely sad.
He sells himself out to appease a majority white conservative demographic. He's not willing to even acknowledge any minority issues or struggles.
I need you to understand that being oppressed has nothing to do with whether or not you have money. Being oppressed is the fact that your entire existence, your entire lived experience is completely different just because of the color of your skin. If you get pulled over by a cop, your thought is not, am I going to make it home alive?
Yeah, she completely made up that scenario so that she can make this video to virtue signal to all of her followers.
He deflects, turns it around, and then claims it as a struggle for his own group somehow, despite never really being affected historically. His takes are unironically black and white. He either lacks the intellectual capacity to analyze the meaning behind the content he's watching, or he just genuinely purposefully chooses to ignore it, picking the lowest common denominator to unify his audience against the stereotypical view and image of the left. Hateful ideologies and ridicule of other people get easy approval among his fans, hence why he's repeating this content over and over again. LGBT education is indoctrination, dislike of his president is indoctrination.
I had to share this gem that my daughter brought home from school yesterday. Draw a picture to show what makes your world wonderful when Donald Trump is not our president.
Ah, yes, a great mother. Instead of teaching your kid how to spell, you're going to teach her how much she should hate Trump. But trust and believe, there is no brainwashing going on here.
This video has been uploaded a day ago. Knowing everything that Donald Trump has done, you still decide to defend and dick ride. Honestly, doesn't your ass hurt at this point? And all leftists are being depicted as the stereotypical caricature. In the end, all of your critiques boil down to, well, she disagrees with my political beliefs and I don't like how she looks, so she's a stinky liberal. And the consequence of this is sheer dehumanization. The left is being portrayed as man-hating, gay-propagating, unhinged individuals.
In the meantime, I tell this kid, we do have a flag in the class that you can pledge your allegiance to. And he looks around, he goes, oh, that one?
It's a textbook strategy to mobilize a group against the minority to justify hate and discrimination against them.
Community members at this Board of Education meeting in Granby, Connecticut got very heated Wednesday night over a video the school district showed to lower school students.
Universal Kids celebrates Pride Month. What Pride means to me is just being myself and standing up for what I believe in.
Pride means you should be able to be free. All my life I never really felt like a boy and I don't really feel like a girl, so I'd rather be both.
How can you be so anti-human? You see children doing something so beautiful, endorsing something that should be so natural, and your reaction is, oh no, that is disgusting, we don't want our kids to see that. I don't know what else to say. It's disappointing that so many people choose to waste their time on the lowest form of entertainment, if you can even call it that. It's basically the equivalence of kicking a dead horse and then claiming, oh, but it bit me, so I shot it 25 times and bashed its head in to teach it a lesson. America, fuck yeah! Despite everything, his prominence isn't surprising at all, because the YouTube algorithm rewards low effort, cheap, inflammatory content. Yinka is kinda like the digital equivalent of eating a handful of raw salt. It gets a reaction, but it leaves you completely empty and is also fucking disgusting. Yeah, remember guys, don't waste your time on these people. We have actual issues to fight, and arguing with idiots is it's not one of them. Let's stay strong together and set an example of what an actually intelligent community is supposed to look like. You are a lazy fucking knockoff of a grifter. You're not even good enough to be called a grifter. And it's very sad. Very fucking sad. So I'll finish this shit, man. Thank you guys. Take care.